Hello pilots and ground crew, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, well, I'm afraid it's time to say goodbye to my little friend. Not the goggles, my little friend, the alien. What the problem is, as we all know, there is a shortage of chips. So the HD system, I mean, I've been lucky enough on a couple of my quads to get the Cadex Vista Nebula Pro, and that is amazing. And it's a case of once I'd tried HD, I wanted to swap everything over to HD. Well, unfortunately, as I just said, because of the chip shortage, the units just aren't about. I mean, you can't get the cameras out like that. There is like that Starlight or Starburst or whatever it's called, but when you've tried the Nebula Pro, Cadex Nebula Pro, that's all you really want, or the original DJI. So they'll be back sooner or later, but at the moment I've still got a load of my quads and stuff, and even planes with cameras on, which aren't HD. So what I need to do, like if I take my Whoop out, I need to take my Sky Zone goggles, right? And then I need to take my Power Play Immersion RC adapter to get good picture quality from the DVR, because this boosts it to like 1080p DVR quality. You basically connect it, you plug it into your goggles, you'd have seen them before, you plug it into your goggles and the DVR footage gets recorded onto this at 1080p, and you get really good DVR rather than just the DVR from the goggles. So what I've had to do is get myself a Digi adapter, one of them things that go on the front. Now this is not going to be a put on video, because these have been out a year or two and there's literally hundreds of videos showing you how to put them on and install them and what people think. Well, this is a case of my turn, right, what I think. So I've got one of these Digi adapters, and I also got myself the TBS Fusion, because basically from what I've read, remembering coming from Sky Zone to HD, I don't use modules on Sky Zone because they come with the modules built in. So I had to do quite a bit of research knowing which module. But the Fusion, I mean the TBS Fusion is, I mean from what I've seen, it's bleeding amazing. Plus the thing I do like is, because 99.9% of my quads are all running on Crossfire now, and they have TBS VTX and stuff like that, you can link everything together with this Fusion module. You can link everything together and basically change and do settings and stuff straight in your goggles without messing about with smart audio and stuff. You can do a lot of extra stuff, but at the same time this has been out a while, so you probably know that. So the bottom line is, I'm having to connect one of these on so that I don't have to take 2 lots of goggles to the field, plus my Power Play, have that all wired up, so it's more wires, more batteries, more this, more that. And so I thought I'll bite the bullet and I'll just say goodbye to my little friend here. Right, well, I'm not getting rid of it, I'm just, yeah, because in case you don't know, you unscrew the front and you put this new piece on, and that's it basically. I'll just show you this new piece just in case there's somebody who hasn't seen one, and you get the gist. And you take your faceplate off your goggles and you put that faceplate on. You screw that faceplate on there and you put your module bay on there, a couple of wires, and then you can fly in analog and HD. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that now, because like I said, this is more about what I think. So I'm going to get it set up, right, figure this thing out and go for a quick flight, and I'll tell you what I think, because what I do like is you still use the DJI DVR Alright, so you're recording to DVR straight into the goggles, but with the Fusion module it looks really good DVR, so I'm hoping it's on par with this or better basically. So I'm going to get it set up. I'll just show you after I've set it up, and it's a case of I'm going to test it out with my little tiny whoop at just 25 milliwatts just to give it a test. But I'm gonna miss my little friend here, right? But needs must, and it saves carrying loads of cables. But the thing is, once the Calyx Vista Nebula Pro, once the chip problem is sorted, I'll be able to swap the rest of my stuff over to HD, because that's how much I was impressed with HD. Okay then, let's just get it all put together and do a quick jump shot. I'll show you it, then we'll give that little tiny whoop a rip and tell you what I think. Okay then, jump shot. Okay then, well, it went on simple enough. The hardest thing was getting the Fusion module in. It's quite a tight fit, and I was scared to push the cover on. I didn't want to snap it out like that, but I got it in. And the button's very manageable, left, right, up, down. The antennas, I'm going to be using a Menace patch at the bottom and a Foxeer at the top, but that's not important. But actually, I still think the face looks pretty good. Right? I don't know if it's because of the nose and stuff, so it's not as good as it was, but it's still not too bad. It'll still make the kiddies laugh, because I know when I've seen kids at the park and stuff, I've heard them, Mum, look at that man, look at that thing, look at that. You know what I mean? So I reckon that'll still make the kiddies laugh. But yeah, so I got it on the two cables. The cable management, as if you've watched these before, right, a lot of people say the same thing. The cables are just a bit fiddly, but I've got it all zip tied up. I got myself some cable bungs. These things I picked up a load actually. I got a big box full of them. I didn't know which size I'd want, because they're all different shapes and sizes. And I was hoping that'd work better, but I got one on there just to hold them cables down that way so they won't get pulled out or caught or all like that. Like I said, this side just zip tied. It's a pity that they don't make the cable smaller, because there's no need for this much cable. But there again, some people like to have the battery running off the back, so I reckon that's why they've done it, right? Because a lot of people have the battery running off the back, so they've made extra long cable. But I might be able to tidy that up a bit more in the future, so to speak. But it's on, it's neat, and it fits in my case alright like that. So I've tested it, I've got that fastened down tight. I just plug in my extension there for the power and we're off. But yeah, so right, I'll plug in my tiny whoop and let's go for a flight. I'll be recording DVR and we'll see what happens. But I'll let you know in a couple of minutes after the flight. Okay then, yeah, I actually, it's growing on me, Right, it probably won't once these things are on, because it'll look really weird, but just like that, it's okay. Right then, let's get the Cinewhoop into the air and have a little test, and I'll tell you what I think of the footage. Okay then, pilots and ground crew, roll VT. Okay then, right, that was a quick little flight with me Whoop. Right, batteries aren't great. I need some new batteries for that actually. Right, they don't last very long now. You're lucky to get about a minute and a half or something like that. But yeah, so do I like first of all, this rig, it went on really easy, but I mentioned that. Right, there's no messing about. But what I do like, right, is this fusion module. Right, you make all your adjustments in the goggles. Right, you don't have to mess about, because first of all, right, I thought to myself, I can hardly see the screen, right, because of the patch. But when you press the button for a second, the image, all that image on there, right, appears in your goggles. So you can do all your settings while you've got your goggles on, just by moving that one little button there, and you can get at that real easy. But yeah, I was quite impressed with the DVR footage. I have to mess about a bit because in the goggles, in the fusion unit, you can adjust the saturation and the brightness and things like that. And I just wanted to try it raw. Right, that was just raw footage. I plugged the fusion in, I selected the correct channel for my VTX, and I flew. I didn't mess about with that. I just wanted to see what it was like raw, and it was pretty damn good actually. I mean, I have to say, better DVR than what I used to get straight from me Sky Zone goggles. But that's why I bought that module I showed you, that Impulse RC module that you plug in for the DVR, and that makes it into like 1080p. Which actually, this was pretty damn good. I wouldn't be using that module with this, well, you don't have to, because this was pretty damn good, and I reckon once I've got the saturation and the brightness and that sort of shit sorted out, I'll be even happier. So yeah, I was really happy with this setup, and it's so easy. Once you're in your goggles, just if you didn't know, you go into your normal HD settings, and you scroll down to where it says AV, and you just click and it instantly swaps over to AV. But when you unplug the battery, and put the battery back in again, it goes back to HD. So you have to go through your settings and click AV again. So just remember that. But yeah, so was I impressed? Yes, and I'll be even happier once I've, like I said, done the settings in the Fusion. But any problem? I'll tell you what, there is one problem with this rig. Right? And yes, it's a British made company. And because I live in Britain, the shipping confused the hell out of me. Right? It's a good company. It's a great adapter. It's an awesome adapter. But, and I have to say, when I ordered it, nothing. I didn't hear from them or anything. I thought, oh, something gone wrong. So I went into my bank account. No, the money's gone through. Right. So I got in touch with them. I said, look, I haven't had any confirmation of purchase, any type of receipt, email, anything. Right. And I give them the dues in a couple of hours, so they got back to me. And in my words, we don't do that. Right? All they do is, once they ship it, then they send you an email with the shipping information. So they don't tell you that your order's gone through or anything, which to me is bloody crazy, because you could order one and you could be waiting a few days and you don't know if it's coming or not. So to me that was stupid. Oh, the shipping information they give you is stupid anyhow. Well, it was with Royal Mail. All it was, a shipping tracking number, I clicked on it, and the only message you get from Royal Mail is you won't, basically they won't tell you anything until they've tried to deliver it. So you don't get any tracking information, so that's pointless. Alright. So basically, that was a bit infuriated, but it's one of them things. No confirmation email to say, yeah, you've placed an order with us, which I think is really bad. right, in the sales team. Right, but like I said, a good company, an excellent module, but bad on that sort of sales department. Needs to be tightened up a bit, because you should always get a confirmation that you paid for something, you bought something, you want confirmation that, yeah, you know. But anyway, yeah, so that was my warp fly, and I thought the DVR was pretty damn good, so am I happy? Yes. And the fusion module, once I've got the rest set up, because you can link it, I'm all crossfire on everything, right? And using your crossfire radio, me it's Tango, right, Tango 2, but and you've got your crossfire VTXs and stuff, and you can link your fusion to your VTX to your transmitter. They all link in together, so they all talk to each other, so that you can actually make adjustments. You can change your VT. It's similar in a way, the VTX to smart audio, but without all the extra wiring, or out like that, and all the extra settings in Betaflight. And I believe, notice I said believe, only just got this, remember, right? I believe once everything's linked, right, when you're changing this, instead of pressing that little button, you can use your joystick on your transmitter to go through things, just to make it even easier. But I'm not 100% with that. I saw some on YouTube, right, but I'd have to check into that more, or if that's a main point for you, you check into it. But even if it didn't do that, but I believe it does once they're all fused together, fuse, who knows. But yeah, so I'm very happy, and like I say, it doesn't take up much room, it still fits in my case okay. And if you're interested, like, I've already said, yeah, all you do is settings, click AV, and then if you wanted to go straight back to HD, just go back to that AV, click it again in your settings, and it jumps straight back to HD. But compared to HD, I mean, I actually, after that warp flight, I had a flight with my Cine Pro, which is absolutely, it's chalk and cheese. I mean, the HD is so damn good. Oh, I'll tell you what, somebody asked me, and just in case anybody else asked me, my last few flights, was it some sort of GoPro or something, but no. Any flight you see now with my Cine Pro, or any flight you see with my Titan XL5, it's just DVR footage. That's all it is, DVR straight from the goggles. No extra cameras, no GoPros, no now, just DVR footage. That's how good the HD is. I have, which I've mentioned in my videos, increased it to 4K. So it's recorded in 1080p. And I edit it to 4K to upload to YouTube, so the picture's even better. But it's only DVR footage, right? That's all it is, because I have been asked, so I just thought I'd mention that. So, am I happy? Yes, I'm happy. Am I impressed? I'm bloody impressed, actually. Yeah, this works really well. I love the module adapter. The adapter works great. I like that. I'm not keen on this, but I'm going to see if I can sort something else out. But it's okay. Comfortable on my head, yes. Funnily enough, right, when I'm wearing it and flying, it's perfect. But when I've got it up there, now somebody else mentioned this, and I can't remember for the life of me who. I think it was MadTech, I can't remember. But when I've got it on my head, then it does feel heavier. It wants to drop down. When I've got it, let me just take my protector out. When I'm flying, that right now, that feels real comfortable. It feels exactly the same as it always did. But when it's up there, it feels heavier, and it's not falling now, which is sod's law, but it feels like it's going to fall. It does feel heavier, but on your face, absolutely fine. So anyway, if you've stuck around all this time to the end of the video, that's just a protector I use just to stop any light getting in, damaging the lenses, if by any chance I left the goggle up right into the sun. But yeah, if you stuck around to the end, thank you. But so I hope you enjoyed the video, and you'll be seeing more DVR from my whoop and stuff soon, especially now winter's coming. Even though it's gorgeous day today, gorgeous day. That's why I wanted to get out and have that flight. Well, actually I had about 6 or 7 flights, but that was the very first one, so I thought it's only fair to show you the very first one. Right, because in all fairness, my other flights I did start to make little adjustments. It's changing and tweaking the odd little bits and pieces and stuff, right? But it wasn't fair to show you that. I wanted to show you the just plain raw first flight, first impressions and everything. And I think the DVR footage is pretty damn good. And as you saw, I tried to fly behind as many trees as I could to get some sort of really bad breakup. But yeah, so I was quite impressed, and it's with the Menace RC patch and Foxy little stubby, which I painted black. Well, painted, I used one of them permanent markers, because when it stood up there and it was bright red, it looked bloody weird, and I didn't like it. I wanted to get myself a TBS stubby, but this is like bloody gold dust, and I used to own one, but I can't find it for the life of me. But yeah, I can't find them anywhere. Everywhere's I was stuck. Okay then, pilots and ground crew, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you like this kind of a review. It was basically this. I know this has been out ages, but it was why I needed to switch over and my personal opinion. Alright then, cheers.